prize. I think it was Coach Sullivan. Isn't Coach Sullivan here? Coach Sullivan told me on the way in that almost all of his team was somewhere doing some other competition or homework, Mr. Ross. That's what they're doing. I want to share with everybody the day of this competition. I happened to go by the Flex just down my district office, and these students had just had their competition. They were then the three major groups, Irmo, Dutch World, and Chapin, were involved in indoor soccer, ping pong, lots of competition, having a great time among fellow students. So I think that's a tribute to their well-rounded, total personality. And I think everybody will enjoy seeing it. So y'all join me again in giving all these students a great hand. Does that conclude our spotlight? I think it does. At this time, I'm going to turn the program over to our superintendent, and I want everybody to know that we have 1 hour and 15 minutes set aside, and I think that's going to give us plenty of time for one of the major items, which is to discuss item G, new design and construction. And I will tell you that Ms. Watson has vowed to keep me on time, so I would hope that everybody would help us do that. Dr. Hefner, I was kidding somewhat, but we want to get out of here on time so you can get home and only put in 8 or 9 hours. We do appreciate Dr. Hefner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I do wish to publicly thank District 5 for your support, concern, and prayers during my recent hospitalization for surgery. My recovery is going well, and I am very, very happy that my surgeon released me to return to work today. There's no place I'd rather be than right here. I also want to just briefly, once again, publicly acknowledge the work of our staff. Particularly, I want to say thank you to Dr. Carl Fulmer, who stood in for me on all necessary occasions. I'm very appreciative of his excellent work, and to Ms. Stowers, who ensured that everything got routed where it needed to be in my absence, and also to our entire staff for their excellent work. And because they had the home bases covered, I was able to concentrate on my physical rehabilitation, and I am very grateful and very thankful to work among you. Tonight, what I would like to do is to give you a brief update on Vision 2015. On September 12th, I identified five major things that I hope that we would accomplish over the course of the next 4 years. This is not an all-inclusive list by any means, but it's 5 major things that I hope that we'll be able to do in the months ahead. Number 1 is to renovate and expand Chapin High on its present site. And the report that I would give you there is this, that all permits and approvals needed for the expansion and renovation have been received. Although there are some still under appeal, we have received what we need to receive. And the district did advertise for bids on September 18th. The bids will be opened on November 3rd at 2 p.m. I think you'll recall from our last meeting, I thought it would be earlier than that, but when we met with our folks who were submitting bids, they asked for more time in order to give us the very best prices. So we have honored that. So at the November 14th meeting, the administration will bring a recommendation to award the project to the lowest responsive bidder, and construction could begin by the end of November. Number 2, to build a new high school on the Spring Hill site and open it as a magnet high school. Where we are with that is that the district anticipates advertising for bids in November. Again, it's a little later than I first had hoped, but again, people wanting and asking for more time to give us their best bids, and the district anticipates opening the bids in December. Number 3, make significant improvements to the physical facilities at Irmo High and Dutch Fork High. Where we are with that is that preliminary conceptual scopes of work will be presented a little bit later in the section this evening. Number 4, build a new elementary school, and we anticipate advertising for bids for this project in the fall of 2012. And number 5, expand magnet and choice options throughout the district, again, for the purpose of making maximum use of our existing space, enhancing the ability of each of our schools to compete effectively with other schools in the district, and to compete with other schools in the larger community, and to meet the unique educational needs of our students. We're currently working on magnet proposals at this time, and we anticipate having the first of many multiple specific proposals for the board's consideration at the December meeting. Again, I would conclude as I did at the meeting on September 26th with this quote from Henry Ford: "Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success." And I hope that we'll all be able to rally around these specific projects. Again, remembering these are not the only projects that await us in the months ahead, but are 5 that I think are very significant to the future of our school district and our community. I wanted you to know where we are with it. I thank you for listening to that, and at this time we will go back to Mr. Price, who will give us an update on the Education Foundation Gala, which was held on October 13th.
Thank you, Dr. Hefner, and I know many of the board members were present there with us at this evening, and the reason we wanted to put this on the agenda today to talk about was it was such an overwhelmingly positive evening that everyone thoroughly enjoyed. We want to thank publicly the foundation, board, and the events committee that helped put it together. There were more than 300 people in attendance, and we had more than 20 sponsors that helped us sponsor the event so that all of our expenses were paid actually before we even began the evening. And we had a large number of auction items that we auctioned off during the evening. And they're still getting the final tallies together to make certain we know just exactly how much money they were able to raise, but it was very significant and very successful. And as soon as they finalized that total, we plan to put that word out to everyone. But it was as well attended as it possibly could have been because we couldn't house any more than about 300 people. And the outpouring from the community was more than we ever had anticipated. And so what we know is there's a tremendous support for the foundation, there's tremendous support for the work of the foundation, and our community has stepped forward to support us. And I can tell you, based on everything I'm seeing and hearing from what happened that night and what I've seen happen in board meetings and committee meetings where we've made the plans for this event, this group is energized, they're positive, they're anxious to move forward, and they've got a lot of great plans for helping provide additional resources to students in this district. We're very, very proud of them and their efforts tonight, and I'd like to publicly acknowledge that and ask everyone to please give them a big round of applause.
Thank you, Mr. Price, and now we'll go to Dr. Fulmer for our financial services reports.
Thank you, Dr. Hefner. Members of the board, you have included in your packet the monthly financial report. I would make one note about that. We have been in the process of a conversion in our software to new software that's an update of the old software. So this report was produced as of the 13th of the month and does not contain quite all of the data that it would have contained had we been able to do that later on. But we'll certainly catch you up in the next financial report with the additional revenue that may have come in since that day. In addition to that, you have in your packet an update on the Chapin High School wetlands legal appeal. We continue to receive costs associated with that from our attorneys, and so I wanted to update that, and you have that for information as well.
Yes, I've got a couple of questions. When will our annual audit be ready for us to review?
The annual audit by state law is to be turned into the State Department of Education by the 1st of December, so we would anticipate having that report at our November meeting.
Is there any reason it takes so long to generate that report since we about June 30th?
The comprehensive annual financial report you're talking about?
Yes.
Well, our audit firm usually will begin working on that in June, July, and we give them until the end of August. We try to get the draft to us by mid-October, and then that gives us a chance to review the draft. And then after that, we've got to put the comprehensive annual report together, have it bound and published, and prepared for presentation. So it's a long process that spans months of work.
I know Mr. White could probably address that, being a tax attorney. Your businesses take so long to generate annual reports.
I don't think, first of all, I don't think about our auditors, but I don't think that time frame is unreasonable. Yeah, I mean, they have other clients and everything. It's a lot of work.
I
think it would be helpful if we could do something to generate those a little quicker for us.
Ms. Murphy, I'll just help you from my past experience. This is fairly normal, about 4 months. You've been here about 4 years, but prior to that, it's a process that they go through. They're professionals. They're not going to stir the process or speed it up. Now, we could probably pay a premium, possibly, and put it in the meeting. I don't think that, I don't know that we could do that for scheduled work. This is normal process. I don't know of any school district in the state.
Mr. Chairman, I actually don't think it would be possible for an audit firm to come in and do it much quicker than it's being done. In fact, we spend from the end of June, from June 30 until mid-August, just closing out to come up with a trial balance that we begin to work with, and then they come in and do all of that work. I rather think it's a lack of understanding of the process that brings the question to us rather than really the process itself.
All right. Another question?
Yes, and
And
this
let me ask everybody, Mr. Price is trying to turn the volume up. Everybody get their microphone good close. And that will help us get the audience get.
Yes, I just wanted to go on the record, the information that's included in the board packet related to costs incurred by the district related to the wetlands issue is false information.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you have a question.
No, I'm stating it's false information.
It's false information.
False information.
Ms. Watson, you have a question or a comment?
I'd like to go on the record that Dr. Fulmer is the best chief financial officer in the state, if not the nation, and there is no doubt. Thank you. He definitely deserves that and appreciation, and I don't think that, Mr. Chairman, I really find it quite offensive that a board member would accuse one of our chief administrators of putting out false information. And I don't know if there's some sort of sanction on that, but I find that very
I'd like to ask the audience, please help us with applause or any outbursts tonight. But Ms. Watson, we can certainly look at that and understand where you are. Anyone else have any
I
questions?
have one response.
yes, that's for the record.
I have been in this business for over 40 years. First time I've ever been accused of presenting false information.
Former, accept our apology on behalf of a member of our board.
Excuse me, Mr. Dan.
You have a question?
I have a comment.
A comment?
Thank you. Forward the time. This is about hiding from the public what is really going on at Chapin High School in the bond referendum. And I would like to go on the record for that as well.
Do you have a statement to present?
Yes, I do.
Is it lengthy? Where is it?
I just said it right here.
What you said is this is about.
This is about hiding from the public what is really going on at Chapin High School and the bond referendum.
All that's recorded. I think all this is played out we're at a board meeting, we're not in the courtroom, and all that is played out. We hope it will be resolved extremely soon. Any other questions on our financial reports tonight?
Mr. Ken, I would like to just add one comment to all this. And first of all your numbers are in our audited financial statements, so I mean, they're there for people to verify, number one. And number two, the whole transcript of that trial is on our website. So anybody who wants to see what this money was spent for, you can go to the website, and I think even more importantly, you ought to read the depositions, including Ms. Murphy's deposition, which I think will be there soon. But there are a number of people, and you can find out what people say under oath and what the truth is, and why this money was being spent.
Thank you, Mr. White. Any other questions for Dr. Fulmer? Ms. Watson?
I just want to make sure that I'll be able to read my for the record response with regards to what I just said that will be included in the minutes. I'll work on that now.
You certainly can, and if you have 48 hours to get it in, if you just repeat what you said.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I'd like to do a report on transparency.